Welcome, everybody. Appreciate you joining us tonight. If you're a first timer, we are the Texas Forward Party. We believe everyday Americans should be able to decide what's best for them and their communities. And that's why we're building a party that puts the power back in the hands of the American voter. If you doubt that the power is not in the hands of the American voter right now, let's have a conversation, because I think it's pretty clear that the power lies elsewhere. We are a values-based party, and if you want to see those values, go to www.texasforwardparty.org. They're displayed proudly right there on the homepage. All right, here's our leadership team. One thing I really want to point out is all the new signs there. There's an influx of new blood and new enthusiasm in the organization. Brandon, are you still serving as secretary as well as state vice chair? It's a little unclear to me, but how many hats you're wearing. But a new state vice chair, Brandon. Becky Neely has been in the treasurer's chair for I don't know how many months now, but doing a bang up job. And we've got new county chairs, Ciara, Perez in Cameron County, John Flood in Harris County, Ed in Travis County. These are all key counties, right, that we need to have a presence in. And it's truly gratifying to see the growth in people stepping up to be in the county chair role, because we need to organize on the ground, and that's what the county chairs are going to do. All right, move on. And for the first time in our history as the Texas Forward Party at the state convention coming up in April, we are going to elect our state officers at that convention. So while Brandon's sitting in the vice chair role and the secretary role at this point, and Becky is sitting in the state treasurer role, they've all been appointed by the state executive committee. And we wanted to open that up to a democratic process, which is actually how all the other parties in the state nominate or elect their state officers. So it's part of our growth as a party, but it's an indicator that we're reaching a critical mass where we're beyond executive committee appointment and opening it up to the general membership for an elective process. Now, to that point, I'd like to announce that I will not be standing for the office of state chair at the Texas Forward Party convention in April. That day will officially be my last day in the chair role. Over the last year or so, things have changed pretty dramatically, and my professional life is demanding huge chunks of my attention and energy now. I can simply no longer sustain it. And it's clear that I just do not have the time that the role of state chair demands to be successful. So luckily, over the last 6 months especially, and if not longer, people like Brandon and Becky, all the county chairs have stepped up. They've filled the gap, and truth be told, over the last certainly 3 months or so, I've been little more than a figurehead over that time, and these guys have actually been carrying the momentum forward, which I greatly appreciate. I cannot express how much I appreciate their efforts. We are in February of 2026. It has been almost 4 years to the day that I've been in this chair role. I still believe in what we're trying to accomplish, but it's clear that it's time for me to step aside and make way for somebody who will be capable of taking Texas forward to the next level. In fact, I first pondered this move almost 2 years ago, but it's only now that we've got the people, the processes, the capabilities in place that I'm confident that I can step aside and this team will keep the momentum going without a hiccup, because as I've said, behind the scenes, they've actually been doing that for the last several months. So I'm not disappearing completely. I'm going to be in an informal advisory role. You can still reach me at rick.kennedy@texasforwardparty.org. And to Becky's point, if you were on early about me checking that email address, I'll be probably doing it a little bit more often. But again, I will be staying in contact with everything that's going on and doing everything I can that time and energy allows to help the movement continue to move forward. And with that, as I have learned many times in my professional career, when handing the baton off to a new leadership, The best thing to do is to do exactly that and then get the heck out of Dodge and let them carry on. So with that, as I've said, I'm still available at rick.kennedy@texasforwardparty.org. Raj, we probably need to have a conversation, and we will. But with that, I will step back and step out and let the team carry forward. And for everybody on this call and people like John Keller who have been with this movement from day one and more than day one, John, because you and several others extend back to the SAM days before Forward, I can't express how deeply I appreciate your efforts. Becky, you got a hand up?
Yes, I do. I wanted to confirm with you, it's my understanding that in the background activity for you will still be involved with the candidates and any requests for endorsements.
Correct.
That come along, that you'll be filtering those.
In an advisory and support role, yes.
Right,
Absolutely.
okay,
Yep.
okay.
Any other questions before I drop away? All right, again, I just want to express my appreciation. Thanks, Brandon, Becky, and everybody else. I will sign off now, still operating in the background, but handing it over. Take care, everybody, and we'll talk soon.
All right, that is one way to start a meeting. I think for some of us, when Rick told the news, it was definitely very heavy news. And he has definitely held up his bargain to say, he wanted to see the leadership team run with this. And so he has been supporting us, but he has really been forcing us to figure out how we are going to move forward come the convention in April. So there is no way one person can kind of carry the load. And also in these meetings, I think we've all gotten used to Rick's style and his approach. And I know when talking to another leader here, they said most people they talk to at the Texas Forward Party are either here because of Andrew Yang or Rick Kennedy. And I think going forward, we've got a lot of leaders here that we're going to have to spread the wealth and spread some of the responsibilities so that we also can make sure Texas is well represented. So with that, we've got a short window. I've got pancakes waiting for me at our neighborhood church for tonight since it is Tuesday night. So we're going to go through. We got another 30 slides to get to. We're going to meet some new faces. We're going to talk about how we are building from the ground up and what we are doing with our county conventions and precincts, talking a little bit around how we are going to build the muscle to get us through the spring and into the summer, and then just what it means to be a party in 2026. And I'm going to be calling on quite a few folks so that we don't have to all listen to me, and also so that you can meet some of the new faces here at the Forward Party. So as Rick always says, the vision is still the same. The Forward Party wants to put a wedge in the Texas State Legislature. It's not to shake things up. It's to get both of the sides of the House, of the Senate, to get both parties working together again. And that wedge can look different ways. And I think as we go through this year, we will be exploring how to get closer to that vision. And I know it is near and dear to Rick's heart, but it's near and dear to a lot of us as we've talked about one of the reasons on the how we're going to make a dent. Just to remind us, we started this year in 202 counties. There are 254 counties in Texas. So as I just kind of go through this, let's do a drop in the chat. What county are you at? And if you want to share, why are you here? What is it that brought you to Forward? But go ahead and drop it in the chat. I think this is something that it is just so impressive to think about how far we span Texas and what has brought many of us here. Our growth as a movement and to make an impact really comes down to resources. And those resources can either be friendly faces, people's names, people in our community, or it can be dollars. We'll take both and we'll need both. But the power of people really goes a long way. And when we have organizers and volunteers that are willing to meet one-on-one and host events, that has the biggest impact. And that's one of the things we want to talk about tonight, how we're moving from ideas and kind of behind our computers to action in real life, one-on-one, and getting out to meet other like-minded Texans that are also looking for hope that there is another path forward. So building from the ground up, this is something that was awesome to see. I remember the weekend when this Gallup report came out. As soon as I saw it, I screenshot it, posted it on our socials, and man, it's probably one of the most popular things we've shared so far at Texas Forward Party. But we are in a key moment of time. We have the key ingredients that are going to get excitement and get people involved into our movement. At a national level, they now have a strategy where they're lifting up independent candidates and endorsed candidates. And we also now are seeing more and more people move away from the legacy parties. This chart here shows that by age cohort, as we get younger in those cohorts, we have a larger percentage in the middle as independents. In fact, when you sum it all up, 45% of U.S. folks are now claim themselves as political independents. And so here in Texas, we now have an organized and dedicated leadership team, and we are going to be able to rally behind the independent candidates that are running this cycle. And we know that there is a large cohort of our neighbors that are looking for something other than what's, on the extremes in the legacy parties. So how do we reach them? Where do we go? This is where our journey begins. Our journey begins in our counties, in our precincts, in our neighborhoods. So this timeline, we've seen different versions of this, but we are here right in February. And we are working on building precincts and counties. And then very soon, we're only a couple weeks out, our county chairs, our counties that are organized, are going to do county conventions. And that's going to get us ready to meet in April here in Austin. But also, it's going to start building that muscle. And we will continue throughout the year to support candidates and get ready to build the movement. And so what does that look like? And this is something I enjoy just thinking about how easy it is to start small and grow from there. So organizing between now and the county convention and even at the state level, what does it mean to be a county chair or to be an organized county, or even what does it look like to be a precinct chair? An organized county, and we're trying to keep it very simple, has a county chair, has a friend for support, a vice chair, and then one or two precinct chairs. And for right now, set a date for a county convention. So we've got 11 counties with county chairs. I think at my last count, we have 7 county conventions out on our events page. So from there, each of those county chairs are reaching out and talking to supporters in their county. And so a precinct, an organized precinct, we're just talking about you and a couple supporters as a precinct chair. And think of it as neighborhood captain, someone that brings people together and brings them together to get ready if we want to activate to have a candidate come and speak at a coffee shop or in your living room. We want to get out and do signature gathering, but it's a way for us to start building that community and bringing people together. So for those of you that are either in an organized county or maybe you're in a county that isn't organized, having local connections are authentic. And that's really what we want to start with. Bottom up means starting in our communities and building on the relationships and having those conversations. So if you're interested, you can go out, you can join, you can volunteer, but you can also become a precinct chair. And we'll put another plug a little bit later on. If you don't have a county chair, it doesn't take much. It takes you, your spouse, and a neighbor, and you could be an organized county. Now there's more as we get into the year, but this is how some of our counties have started. And really it's about bringing neighbors together, having discourse. And I'll tell you, when I have coffee with people and just tell them about what we're doing at the Forward Party, it's almost, sometimes it's a weight that lifts off people's shoulders, just knowing that there's a group out there that's trying to get division out of politics, get democracy working again. and bringing people together instead of tearing them apart. So speaking of bringing people together, I wanted to introduce and take a moment for everyone to get an idea of what some of our new county chairs are up to, what they're going to be focused on. And really, all three of these county chairs are more than hitting the ground running, but they're leaning on a leadership group that has been working at this for a while. And I really hope, as some of you that are here on the call tonight, or those that are watching when we post this online, reach out to the county chairs or think about getting involved. But everyone that we're going to talk to tonight was in that same chair of maybe I should volunteer, maybe I should start talking to my neighbors, and now I'm ready to step up and bring my community together. So let's start with John. I'd like to introduce you to what's going on to Harris County. John, if you are out there, you can have the mic for about a minute to 2 minutes if you are out there.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Brandon. I appreciate it. My name is John Flood. I'm the county chair for Harris County. I'm an attorney by day. In the past, I've done some volunteer work with boards and legal aid and things like that. I joined the Forward Party and became involved because I felt like a political orphan. I didn't feel like I belonged to the Republican Party or the Democrat Party. I didn't feel comfortable in either party. And so I looked for a while for independent parties that were getting traction. And I think Forward Party, is doing that. And so I'm excited to be on board. We've got our county precinct convention on Thursday, March 5th at 6 p.m. That will be via Google Meets, just like this. That is on the events page. You can find it, or you can email me or call me at the information below. We're going to do a walk and talk. We're going to meet at a park and do a meetup on the 28th or the 29th, depending on the weather. That announcement, the final announcement as far as where it will be and when, will go out either later this week or maybe early next week, so I can keep an eye on the weather. But be looking for that. And we'll have our county convention. In terms of areas of focus for Harris County, we want to build out our county level structure, like Brandon was talking about, getting precinct chairs in place and getting them building below them. We want to work with some Harris County independent candidates to help them with their petitions to try to get on the ballot for the general election. And then we want to support the upcoming state convention in April. And so those are some of our key focus areas, our key priorities for the upcoming months. Look forward to working with y'all. I'm very happy to be here.
We are very happy to have you on board as well, John. John is, for those that live in Harris County, you are all aware, Harris County is bigger than most states in the United States. So it is a big territory. So we're going to need lots of precinct chairs and lots of involvement to continue to grow and reach out to the community. But thank you, John. All right. Up next, Ed Graham is here in Travis County. Ed, are you out there?
I'm here, Brandon. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. Hi, everyone, and it's a pleasure to meet you all. I retired from ExxonMobil. I've been with them for 35 years. I was living over in Spring in Harris County, John. I actually graduated from Rice University there in 1989 and started with Exxon after that. I spent the last 10 years of my career, most of it overseas, and watched the division that was forming. It was very hard to be outside of the U.S. and watching some of that going on. And so when I came back and retired, I've been looking for a place to try to help contribute to a positive change. And I retired, moved over to Austin last year, and am enjoying my time here and really excited to use this opportunity as the new chair to meet as many people as I can face to face, and to help try to build a local movement here that can really create an alternative voice and a competition into the system. I believe we need competition to help the two existing parties behave better and help all of us create a better society for us. I have 3 kids in their 20s. I'm concerned for them and the future that's coming. And so that's my focus right now in the new role, is to meet as many people as possible, to build structure and support within the team. We need precinct chairs. We need team, neighborhood captains, as Brandon says. We've got a couple events coming up right now. So we've got one tomorrow, a happy hour that I'm hosting. We've got a guest speaker there, an individual who's looking to run for city council as an independent. and has some very interesting opinions. I think the group will have. We should have 10 to 12 people at the event, or maybe more. And then also we've got our hanging door hangers tomorrow. So Missy Bledsoe here in the county is leading that effort, and Grace Lee's leading an effort later in February where we're going to hand out flyers over by University of Texas. So we're getting multiple people involved in trying to host activities and to move forward. And ultimately, we've got to build some action plan this year where we get people interested and we have things for them to do to feel that they're building community and they're making a difference. And that's bringing those two together at the same time, and supporting the state convention in April, obviously, since we're hosting here in Travis County, is really important. So I'll stop there. Thanks, Brandon.
Awesome. Thank you, Ed. All right. Ciara will be joining here in probably 5 or 10 minutes, so stay tuned. We'll get her in at the end of the meeting. So coming together in 2026, what does it mean to be a party? We've been talking about the convention. We have the teaser. We've sent out some reminders in our e-blasts. We even have a little splash on the homepage. But let's fast forward, and by fast forward, it's not too far in the future, but we've now completed the county precinct conventions. The primaries have happened. We're in March, and right as we get going into that period, we'll be in full on planning for our state party, or our state party convention, and we'll also be engaging and interacting with candidates that come out of the primaries. So as we go into the party convention, what does that really mean? This is an example of our post-up flyer, where really this convention is dependent on us being able to get organized, get the word out, and it really starts in our neighborhoods and in our counties. This flyer, you can actually go, you can use this QR code down in the bottom. We have a print page, but we have volunteers that have already started hanging some of these up. You are encouraged, and we'll talk about one of the call to actions. We really want to attract people who, feel that they're independent thinkers and they want to be something that is going to be meaningful. So being part of something that is historical, which is us, starting a convention here in 2026 and building from that and working towards 2028 is going to be, I think, a really special moment for a lot of us to experience. And so what does that look like? And why are we doing it? This convention is more around us coming together as a community and a group so we can connect, learn, and grow as a party. It's building the muscle that we need to make sure we have 2 years later, because in 2028, we have to make sure we get through all of these steps. We're going to be at a scale probably 10 or 20 times bigger than we are right now, and we have to do it right. So in 2026, this is going to be our way to connect, to pull people together, and then we're also going to use it so that we're prepared to support endorsed candidates and independent candidates. We're going to conduct party business, but as you'll see down in this left-hand corner, most of this convention is meant to be a big tent event. It's supposed to be accessible to the general public. We know how important the primaries are to a lot of Texas voters. We don't have forward party candidates that will be on the ballot line. So other than those of us that want to be precinct chairs or county chairs, we want to make this open and accessible to what I would call friends of forward, but they may have voted in the Democrat or Republican primary. So our evening reception on Friday night, which would be, a time to get together for those that are in town, open to party members, people that are forward party members, as well as, interested, or what we sometimes refer to as forward curious. Saturday, we'll check in. We'll have team building and information sessions where we're going to actually practice and prepare on how we would do outreach and how we would connect with one another. And then mid-morning, we'll start off with a keynote. We'll have candidates that'll do some speeches and some introductions. We'll do, we've got some fun ideas for how to engage at lunch and network. And then it's just the afternoon on Saturday, so after lunch, where we would actually conduct forward party business. Since we really are going to be focusing during that time period for electing officers and doing, talking about some bylaws and some of how we operate as a group, we don't need a lot of time that day that is only for forward party members. We will talk more in the weeks ahead around what that means and the difference between being a forward party member, being an officer or a chair. But just know, like, our intention is we want to welcome people to come experience this, because this is going to be a historic event for us. But there are also a lot of people that will be cheering along on the sidelines, and we'd love for them to also come and check it out. So it's going to be in Austin. And after that Saturday, for those that do stick around or are in Austin, we're going to have an additional post party. And so Missy Bledsoe, if you're out there, if you want to take 1 minute to just tell us about this, but for those that are sticking around, we'll also have one more activity to cap off the weekend. Missy, are you out there? She may not be there. All right. Well, Missy is organizing this event, but it will be a chance for anyone that wants. If you are a runner and you want to do a 10K, go right ahead. I think a lot of us will be walking. We'll be wearing purple. We'll be interacting with the crowd, 15 to 25,000 folks standing along, cheering us on. So again, another great opportunity for us just to come together and have a little bit of fun. All right, so save the dates. I think everyone's aware of this already. You can go out to our events page and see the county conventions. They will happen anywhere between the 4th and the 14th in March. For the state convention, you can use this RSVP. You can RSVP using this QR code, but that will start on Friday the 10th, but really the convention will be Saturday the 11th here in Austin. Again, if you are interested in helping out, if you have experience doing events or you just want to be there for support, you can contact volunteers at texasforwardparty.org. You can also reach out to myself or Jared Neff, and we will be very happy to plug you in. It's going to be a great moment for us, but I'm also personally just looking forward to meeting a lot of people I have never met in person before, but have spent the last year plus in the trenches on the computer screen. All right, so moving on from there, last section around how we're going to get things started and what we can do to sort of outreach and build this ground game. As a reminder, and Rick covered this on the last call, we are going to be taking action in 2026. We are going to support candidates. We are going to lift up candidates. Some of them will be independent. Some of them could be Democrats or Republicans that seek our endorsement. If we've got the resources, and that's going to be people resources to support candidates, we will do it if they embody the forward party values. But for example, we know that there is a slate of candidates already that we want to support and lift up. So Mike Collier running for lieutenant governor as an independent, William Taggart, again, longtime member of the party and was a county chair down in Harris long before John Flood stepped in. Veronica Williams down kind of south and west, and Raj, who you can see here on the call as well. These are all examples of candidates that when we have a healthy precinct and a healthy county chair, and you've got some neighbors that we can, send a text to or an email and invite a candidate into your home, this is all ways that we can support them. And even more important, Veronica and William have to collect 500 signatures. We can help in the counties that, where we have supporters. Mike Collier has the same hurdle that we would have as the forward party. He's got to collect 81,000 signatures to get on the ballot for lieutenant governor. And guess what? He very much appreciates the forward party values. And I can see there being lots of opportunities for us to have him come into your living room, come to a coffee shop. He is very willing to talk to independent-minded folks that want to talk about education, that want to talk about a different path forward for Texas. So this is another thing that is going to be way more real for us than we've had before in the past. And this is a working model that National has used and other states have used at the Forward Party. So this is the time. If you haven't raised your hand, if you haven't said I'm interested in volunteering, you can use this QR code. You can go to texasforwardparty.org. There's a top nav that says join us, and you can click volunteer. But we really need to up our game and outreach in the real world, not just online, but neighborhood by neighborhood, precinct by precinct. We have lots of ways to do that, but right now, between today and your county convention, if you've got friends, if you have a social bone in your body and you like to talk about the Forward Party, consider becoming a precinct chair. And if you don't have a county chair, as I mentioned, if you're willing and you're a little bit courageous, you, your spouse, or you and a friend and a neighbor can become an organized county. And with just a little bit of boots on the ground, a couple coffee meetups, using the database that we already have, you'd be surprised. You could get 4 or 5 folks that all want to be part of a functioning, active county. And if not, we'll plug you in as a precinct chair, and you can be in a county soon to form. Help us out by spreading the word about the convention. You can use this QR code in the bottom to print that post up, or you can also volunteer to block walk or hang door hangers. So I'm just going to show this, and then I see Becky has her hand raised. But at that texasforwardparty.org/print, there are multiple pieces of collateral that you can go and print, both the post up, this info half sheet, and this rack card. All of those also have options where you can print them at home if you don't want to pay for them to be professionally printed. So check them out. You can also get, however you want to do outreach and how you're comfortable talking to others. Now is the time for us to bring awareness to the Forward Party, because the next 2 to 3 months are really going to have a big impact both for the Forward Party and some of the independent candidates we support. Yeah, Becky.
We have an excellent question in the chat from Benicia Johnson, who is an independent candidate that we are going to be supporting. And she wants to know if independent candidates have to wait until after the runoffs, which would be in May, in all seats in the county before collecting signatures, or just the race in which they're running.
My read of the code when we talked about it is it's the race that the candidate is running in. So if it is in that race, that's what you have. If there's a runoff for your race that you're in. And I believe it's also if it's the Dem or the Republican, you got to wait for that runoff.
So District 23 can start getting signatures after the runoffs.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
Thanks.
All right. Okay, we are in the home stretch. Another way to get involved and also to make an impact, become a VDR, help people register to vote, especially if you're in a county or city where you don't have a high voter roll. A couple of reasons why. One, it helps to lift up more voices, make more connections. Another reason is as we start looking to support candidates to get ballot access, there will be a small window, especially if they go to runoff, where if someone didn't vote in the primaries but also isn't a registered voter, they could be a great candidate or a great individual that may want to sign and support a ballot signature petition. This will become important for us as we continue to go forward and make connections and help to get out the vote. This is just one of many ways that you can take action. It is a commitment of time. And so my last call to action for everyone on here and everyone that watches this video, if you aren't able to donate your time, or if you also want to help lift up other volunteers, make a bigger impact in their outreach efforts, please consider making a donation, whether it's $5, $10, $15, $100. We will take that money and we will put it to good use, looking for independent thinkers, sending a message of hope and optimism that we can fix democracy and that we can introduce another path forward here in Texas. It is going to be a long journey for us. We are not going to crack this nut in 2026, but we have a very doable plan that'll go 26, 27, and 28. And all type of resources are welcome, from muscle, people, your skills to your dollars. Like, we are going to put those to use so that in 2028, we have a slate of candidates that will be collecting signatures. We get on the ballot and we make an impact and show that there is another way to get things done here in Texas. So please consider to donate. You can find this on the webpage. You can scan this QR code. But just really want to appreciate everybody who has committed both blood, sweat, tears, hours, and dollars to the Forward Party so far. It has made an impact and really appreciate it. All right. Ciara, have you joined?
Yes, I'm here. Hi.
All right. I'll give you a minute or two to introduce yourself. We already introduced John and Ed, but thanks for joining. Really happy to have you in Cameron County.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here. Hello, everybody. Again, my name is Ciara Perez. I am located in Brownsville, right down deep at the border and at the Gulf in Cameron County. I am excited to be here. I'm excited to be taking part in such an important opportunity that we have to make a difference. I hit the ground running. I think I've been county chair for 17, 18 days now, and I am excited. I've had so many conversations that I probably would not have had otherwise if I weren't county chair. And I feel like people are now I shared it on my socials, and people are now messaging me and talking to me a little bit more about what their concerns are, about how they can get involved and make a difference. And then even just in all of the circles that I'm involved in, I have people coming up to me and then initiating just a little tiny blurb initiates that conversation. So I'm very excited to have so many amazing conversations with people that usually our conversations are around business or entrepreneurship or anything involved in like what I'm doing in Brownsville, Cameron County in the Valley. And I'm so excited to have deeper conversations with these people. And also getting them to come in and say, okay, well, let me look at forward. What is this? What are y'all trying to do? And how can I make a difference? So I'm so excited. I'm very happy to start doing monthly calls and being able to create a convention next month. Looking at the 13th, on Friday, the 13th in March, will be the Cameron County Convention. So I'm excited for that.
All right. Thank you so much, Ciara. Really glad to add you to the team down in South Texas with Isaiah and Hidalgo. All right. One more plug for events. For those that are volunteers, a couple weeks ago, as we posted our county conventions and our county chairs are getting in full swing, we had, I think, 23 events listed out on our events page. I think right now, if we exclude this one, we're at like 17 or 18. So please, it is a hard and humbling thing as a county chair or an organizer, or just even if you're throwing your own birthday party and no one shows up. So these events, we do this to interact and engage and bring new people in, but also stay connected. In Travis County, as Ed said, we've got a couple really cool things coming up here tomorrow, as well as at the end of the month. But Brazos always has a lot of virtual events. Vicky up in Williamson has a virtual nightcap. Isaiah also has a county check-in that I think is virtual, but it might be in person. And then Becky's doing this one on the 3rd of March that is a in-person event. So all of these events, we try to put them in emails, but we're going to have more and more, and we're going to encourage precinct chairs and local organizers to be able to be self-sufficient and just make make whatever event they need for their neighborhood to pull people together, talk about the Forward Party or politics. And fairly soon, we probably will have candidates that also want to come and meet neighbors and talk about why they either embody the Forward Party values or values that bring communities together. So we are past that time. That was the last slide I had. And so I do want to say thank you. I know normally we open it up for questions. I see Raj has his hand raised. He did put his information in the chat. Raj, I will give you 30 seconds if you want 30 seconds to kind of bring us home, and then I'll close with thank yous.
Sure. Thank you, Brandon. You're doing a great job. I know it's tough to fill Rick's shoes. I just wanted to mention that, I'm running for Harris County District Clerk because I believe courts should serve people, not politics. And I have a very well put together campaign with social media campaign, outreach, and a well put together demographic study of the voter base. I value volunteers and would like to talk to you. I'm going to put my contact info in the chat, and feel free to reach out to me right after the meeting before you forget. So thanks a lot, Brandon, for giving me these 30 seconds.
I love it, Raj. And we will make sure to include that information in the YouTube description. And then I'm sure you and John down in Harris can also connect and make sure that we get that information out to everyone in Harris County and that entire region, the entire Gulf Coast region, so they just know what's going on down there.
Brandon, can you put your contact info in the chat?
Yeah, absolutely. You can reach me at brandon.david@texasforwardparty.org. You can also go out to the leadership page on texasforwardparty.org, and you will be able to, you'll see that I've got my contact information there as well. We are going to refresh that page and make it even easier to hunt down county chairs and also county teams. Thank you, Becky, so much for putting that in there. All right. The next time we meet, we will be in the thick or almost done with county conventions. We should be done with all of them, but it's going to be mid-March. So between now and then, I really hope for those that have joined tonight, for those that catch this video online, please reach out to your county chair, or reach out to someone that spoke tonight. We want to hear from you. We want to spend more time on these type of events. And if you have an idea for an event or a way for us to connect and have something that's relevant to your neighbors, or a cause or an issue that you feel is like something that would benefit the community, let's talk. Let's see if we can reach more people and lift them up. And yes, with kindness, collaboration, listening, we're going to find that it's way easier to build a coalition of like-minded people with those type of mantras than tearing people apart or trying to debate, when a lot of times more than 50%, 60 to 70% of us agree on the core issues or the core topics. So with that, thank you, everyone. I am so excited for the next 2 months. I'm so excited for us to be able to start introducing some of the candidates that we've been talking to. And when we come out of the primaries here on March 3rd, I really feel like that's going to be another chance for us to start working together and making an impact. So thank you, everyone. Have a great evening, and we'll talk soon.